My name's Dee Thomas. I'm from Perthshire near Comrie. I have 4 children aged from 26 down to 12 years. I found out about the named person proposals when I was looking into a survey run by Perth and Kinross Council, and the Information Commissioner told me the council were running the survey to meet their obligations to the new Act. My child came out of school and said that he had to take something at school that was creepy and weird. And when I asked the head teacher what had happened, she'd said that my son had taken the evidence to success survey. My son gave me a flavour of some of the questions, things like his perception of our family's income, the seriousness of our family's arguments, and whether he sometimes felt like he couldn't go on, which is effectively a suicide question. I was really disturbed when I found out that he'd been asked suicide questions and things about his self-esteem, because we always have brought our children up to believe that they can be confident and happy and safe within their family context. I first approached the council to ask them whether we could see the questions the day after, really, that my son had taken it. And myself and other parents were refused this. We were told that they were still conducting the survey and we might skew results. When I was asking questions of the council about evidence to success, I was suddenly asked whether I would be able to have a meeting with 2 of the senior officials. One was the Deputy Chief Executive, and instead of being invited to the council offices, they actually visited us in our home, which I found to be quite unusual. My only assumption of this was that we were being checked out. He really wanted to discuss each aspect of our complaint, but when he came to investigate it, he didn't uphold any of our areas of complaint. The named person legislation is very vague at the moment, but it's also very prescriptive in terms of the wellbeing indicators. What lies behind the named person legislation are the principles known as SHANARI. SHANARI stands for safe, healthy, achieving, nurtured, active, respected and responsible and included, and these are all the elements that a named person would be looking for a child to achieve. What that means in practice is, for example, one of the prescriptions within this SHANARI principle is that if a child is not laughing enough or smiling enough, this could lead a named person to look into that further. I had a child who, when they first started at primary school, didn't join in anything or say boo to a goose. And had SHANARI principles been invoked then, I probably would have had a file opened on us. What concerns me with teaching in particular is that education may well suffer if the principal teacher is spending a lot of time doing paperwork connected to the SHANARI principles of child well-being. Not many mums and dads would know that the Scottish Government did a privacy impact assessment on information sharing for the named person legislation. And what that means is that they will see that information will need to be shared throughout the life of every child in Scotland during their progression towards adulthood. This could have all sorts of implications for families who had not consented for their information to be shared. I think that the named person provisions effectively reduce the role of parenting to that of a technician working with a toolkit of government-approved prescriptives. In effect, it's a tick box scenario where you're just simply ticking off the things you have to do to bring up a child well. I think that parenting is as individual to each family as a fingerprint is to a person, and that a government can't prescribe how you should bring up a child.